So, you know what's crazy, Kern? So I noticed that a lot of artists recently, especially in artwork and that sort of thing, have been showing a lot of nudity lately. And I don't mean any of this Galileo shit, like from Greek ancient times that you see in museums. I just mean straight up, like, you'll open the page of something and you're like, wow, there's some private parts in there.
Oh my god, it's true though. Honestly, I think of Aunt Halsey. Her album cover just a few years ago is straight up her just bare chest. She's just naked on the front cover, and you're like, this is selling in stores. Like kids are gonna see this, families are gonna see this shit. They just don't care. They're all about showing their bodies all over the place.
I guess it's something about like, your body is art, right? Like almost like the Playboy thing. Like
Give me
if
a
you're a
break.
centerfold, it's like an honor. But yeah, I'm a huge Lord fan. So I have all the albums and I got one of the more recent albums, the album Virgin, and the nice vinyl, and it's a cool vinyl. It's like the bath color vinyl, so it's like an ice blue. So I was like, this is super cool. And I'm flipping through it. I'm like, man, this is really like astonishing. This looks like something you would get out of a magazine, like all these photos and stuff. And then I flipped and I'm like, oh my word. Had to put a little. Actually, I didn't even have a sticky note at the time. I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh card fan, so I put like a Yu-Gi-Oh card with the the sleeve on it so you couldn't see. But all of a sudden, it was just like there was some clam chowder there, if you know what
Oh
I
my
mean.
god! Of all the ways to describe it, you found some clam chowder on that page. Oh my god!
It's like,
I
oh
could
my
puke from
word,
that description.
what is this?
Oh, just some bare vagine on your little vinyl there. That's what we got.
And like I think that's the thing too. Like everyone's seen, like I think pushing the boundaries just keeps going further and further because it's like if you go back to the 60s, like no one even saw topless really. Like it was one of those things where it was bad to see people in the bed together. Then it got to where like topless in
I
the
wouldn't say the
2000s was
60s.
just like just like topless was normal, right? And now it's like I guess bottomless is the thing now.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
well, 60s, 70s, you're talking about the summer of love, baby. That was all about showing them things and getting into bed with other people because you got to love everyone. So I wouldn't say that. I would say 50s, 40s, 30s. Yeah, you got it. Showing your ankle was taboo. But now it's for sure the OnlyFans generation where no one gives a shit anymore. Everyone's showing their boobs. Everyone's showing their private parts on the internet. It's like no one has respect for themselves anymore. That's how I feel.
Dudes too, man. I feel like even worse in like films and stuff. You just see big giant cock on the screen half the time. You're like, what the fuck,
Sick,
man?
dude.
Like I didn't pay a ticket to go see big cock on the screen.
I mean, look, some might think otherwise considering all of your female pop star t-shirts you keep wearing, but I would say that I would say that you're pretty spot on because, it's become normal now. It is the new normal. And honestly, like the Halsey one was a lot. That was crazy. I'm like, well, there's Halsey's boobs. Can't be too mad about it. But on the other hand, you're like, what? Why is this like normal and it's being sold on an album? And now you get straight vag on Lord.
Not even
What
like
would
an
it become to?
explicit, not
Mhm.
even an explicit sticker though. Like what's funny is we always talk about like the manga gooners. At least the manga gooners, like it's like comes in a bag that you gotta open, so you know something's wrong in there. This is just like a normal record. You just
Yeah.
open the record and you're like, oh my
So
god.
was it the cover or was it like you had to kind of go through the album and then it showed up on like a page?
It was no, like the inserts where you have the lyrics and stuff.
Mhm.
It was like the first
It was,
one.
oh
Like it was
baby.
like the first one. It wasn't even like in
Welcome
the
to my
bag and
album.
stuff.
Here's my vagine.
So you guys
Yeah.
can look that up on your own. On a side note, there, kind of a related story before you get started is, what's crazy is, one time I was in an airport. I was flying home to Georgia to visit my mom and dad for Christmas, and me like, I like to read and stuff. So especially if it's like a magazine and there's like an entertainment thing, like I try to keep up in the know with what's going on relative today with our news episode, right? Well, I saw one with like, it had some like feature entertainment thing on the front, but then it did have like some really pretty girl. But I was kind of thinking like, oh, maybe this is like an entertainment magazine or something for rich people. And you'll get where I'm going because it was called Maxim. And I didn't know what it was at the time. So, like, dude, I go in the airport and it's just me, by the way. And I grab this magazine off the top shelf. Like, everyone's looking at me, like, talking to all these old ladies in line, families. Keep in mind, I'm coming from Orlando and Disney World. And I grab it off the top shelf and I was like, oh, just this here. And like the lady at the counter, like this 25-year-old girl, just looks at me like, okay, here you go. And I bought like a Coca-Cola with it or whatever because I'm in the airport super early. It's like 6:30 a.m. Like right when all the flights start getting booked up.
Did you do this while wearing your Sabrina Carpenter shirt?
No, even worse. I looked even creepier because I think I was wearing some like golf gear or something because I was supposed to play golf with my dad later in the day. And I just like, when you have like an hour before your flight. So I'm just sitting there in the gate that's practically packed up, but it's just me. So I take that one seat on the end where it's like all crowded and everyone's looking at me. I just pull it out, just looking through it, and I'm like, oh. And then even worse was I get home and like I didn't want to throw it away because I just bought it. But then of course my mom,
a good nudie mag.
my mom opens up my suitcase and my dad just goes, "Well, he is in his 30s."
That's so sad. He is in his 30s. It's like it's one thing. Oh, he is a teenager. No, he is in his 30s buying Maxim magazine from a fucking airport.
Maxim Mag. And then I didn't even know till like my and I think maybe I was in my 20s at my time. Who knows? But my brother, when I go home, I didn't even really think anything of it. But he goes, "What were you doing buying a Maxim magazine?"
Right. That's
and I tried to.
Everyone's
the more you explain, the worse you look. So I was just like, I just wanted to buy it. I just had to roll with it.
Just said, "Fuck it, I'm all in now." Even if you didn't know what it was when you bought it,
because then you look even stupider. Yeah. It's like, wow, how dumb is he?
It's pretty obvious what it is because usually the cover is some girl half naked, generally speaking.
And it was, but it wasn't like one of those Playboy ones with the full nude. And then on the side, it had all these stories. So it was like whatever was happening in the news or whatever was happening in like the entertainment industry with like some model or whatever. So I'm like, oh man, this must have something in regards to the box office.
Oh.
And then you saw a lot more boxes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, a different kind of box office, that's for sure.
Oh man,
that's so unhinged, dude. There's something wrong with you.
But anyways, Kern, guess what we have today? Your favorite subject. A TFTM news episode, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, there's a lot of news, and pretty much all of this is going to be coming from D23 because that was the biggest event to happen recently, and we got some crazy announcements. A lot of things to do with the parks, a lot of things to do with the film industry, so I'm excited, man. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, man. So, first topic of the day, let's talk some movie news and television news. We just did an episode on this. Spider-Man Brand New Day crosses 2 billion worldwide at the box office. Holy shit, man.
Damn.
That is sick. Next, we have Aegon the Conqueror, Game of Thrones spinoff. They were wondering if it would be a TV show or a feature film. It has officially been confirmed. We will be seeing it on the big screen as a feature film. So Supergirl, surprisingly, not to us surprisingly, but to a lot of people, flopped in the box office, carrying a reported $170 million production budget and roughly $120 million marketing campaign. Failed to connect with general audiences and is a major flop.
Good God.
Big news, Nicholas Hoult has been cast in the new Harry Potter reboot as Gilderoy Lockhart. So a little bit relative to Superman there. We know him from. And another one of our favorite franchises, Obsession, was such a success that Nikki this year in 2026 will appear as a character at Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando and California. So, some questions here. Let's start at the beginning. Were you surprised by our boy Peter Parker, Spider-Man Brand New Day, passing 2 billion worldwide in the box office?
I want to say yes and no. Yes, only because what have we seen with Marvel recently? And what have you been hearing online? In the world, people have been like shitting all over Marvel. So I'm not like, I'm surprised on that. And I guess that despite everyone shitting all over it, they still showed up to the box office because it proves that Spider-Man is such a lovable, like you can't not go see him type of superhero. He's the one that he's so easily bankable. And Tom Holland, all the build up, he put so much into this, and it shows. So, like on the one hand, yeah, I'm surprised only because people were claiming they were going to boycott Marvel films and all this crap, and I'm like, no, you're not. You fucking liars. You know damn well you're not going to do that. And on the other hand, I'm not surprised because Spider-Man is the most easily bankable superhero, I think, in existence.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I was a little surprised because No Way Home, even though it happened in 2021, that movie with the nostalgia it had of bringing in Toby and Andrew still didn't reach as high as this film did with the 2 billion. I think it got at 1,900,000,000 and something million,
And there's a
something like
reason
that.
why. Do you remember?
I'm not sure. You'll
It
have
was
to.
not released in China.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
So
that.
it would have crossed 2 billion had it been released in China, but it wasn't. So it would have been on the same, it might have been more for all we know, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I think the times also had something to do with that because that was also around the time like some people weren't really going to the theaters because it was right after the pandemic and that sort of thing, or kind of even during the middle of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But this was awesome, so I was really excited to see that. But I am actually surprised to see it really start to get to where it is, about to pass Infinity War.
Yeah.
That is sick.
I mean, this is the first year since pre-COVID that the theater industry is going to hit $10 billion in revenue. And that's amazing. It's just like, this is everything that we've talked about for so long on this show and early on in the show, that people still want good stories and they still want to show up to the theater. You just have to give them something to show up for. And this is proving it.
Yeah, I think Marvel's back. I think, and then, we'll talk a little bit later about, another Marvel movie coming up this year.
There's another one coming. I didn't
I'm
know.
not sure. Maybe we mentioned it a couple times on this
I had
show.
no idea.
But on another question here, do you think seeing Aegon the Conqueror, Game of Thrones franchise, first time on the actual big screen, will be a benefit for the franchise instead of a TV show? Would you prefer a feature film or a TV show?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge benefit. Just the way that I think this is really interesting. And I think this is a testament to how well the movie theater industry is doing, that they decided to make a movie instead of a show. Because if the story's great and they choose the right actor to play Aegon, which everyone wants Henry Cavill to do, if they do that, it should make a shitload of money in the movie theater. And I think that's the simple answer. It's going to make a ton of money because now theaters are actually coming back and people are remembering how much fun it is to go to the movie theater. So I think it's a great move, and I would rather see it as a big movie than another TV show, which you can just wait till it's over and then you can binge it at the end of it, or you wait week to week and got to wait for the story. I'd rather have it played out in front of me in one cohesive storyline that you're just like, and seeing it on a huge screen if they do IMAX or if they do Dolby. I'm sorry, you don't have an IMAX screen in your house. So people have great movie theaters in their house, but you don't have an IMAX screen or a Dolby, the full Dolby system. So I think that would be sick. I love it. And I definitely prefer film on this one.
I agree. I think it's best for this specifically to be on the big screen. And think about it. Now you will kind of, in the words of the great Hannah Montana, get the best of both worlds because you'll have a night in the Seven
You're
Kingdoms
unbelievable.
on TV. And because we won't have another House of the Dragon for 2 years now that just wrapped, but we'll have a night in the Seven Kingdoms next year. And then with Aegon the Conqueror coming out, you'll have that at the big screen. So that'll be sick. Double Thrones again in the same year. Also, I think this is the perfect franchise to do a feature film because Aegon the Conqueror, we've seen this foreshadowed from even the original Thrones series. So that big dragon skull that was in the bottom of the keep was Balerion the Dread, who is the biggest dragon in the entire franchise to ever be written in history, in Thrones history. And we finally get to see that on the big screen. And I feel like Aegon the Conqueror, the only way to do it justice is you got to send that shit to the theaters, man.
We got to see him riding Balerion on an IMAX screen. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? How cool that would be. That's the only way you can get the true scale of all of it. And I think his story in particular can be told in a 2-hour movie, 2.5-hour movie. I think it's fair to say that you can tell a cohesive story with this and do it right.
Just even from budgeting perspectives, I think this is the budget it's going to deserve. So
yeah.
But with the next question here on another feature film, were you surprised Supergirl was such a failure? And is this the end for James Gunn and the DC Universe with that Paramount merger that's supposed to be coming? Because, you know, you keep having flops like this, you might not be getting too many chances.
Yeah. Was I surprised? No. I told you I was excited about it when it got announced and they showed the teaser, and just based on her appearance in Superman, I was like, well, Millie Alcock's great. She should be pretty fun as Supergirl. And depending on where they go with this story, it could be a really good movie. It was on my early hype list. Then the trailer came out and I was like, fuck this movie. It looks so bad. And everyone had the same sentiment about it. And it was horrible over CGI. It looked like Guardians of the Galaxy all over again. And the marketing was so bad, I thought initially, that it made the character very unlikable. You see her as like this drunken slob of a superhero, and like that was what they really focused on. And she's like all disheveled and bobbing her head, and it's like, oh, this is supposed to be funny, but it's like, what person, when you look at superheroes, they're the embodiment of what's great about humanity, about society. It's like the ultimate being. They're almost deities. Like Superman was kind of based on Samson, the Jewish hero. So I think it's very interesting that they would take a character like that and use that kind of marketing where they bring her to a lesser being. It's like she's too human almost, and she's getting wasted. I know that's her story. I totally understand that. But I think that if they would have marketed this better and focused less on that side and more on like her becoming the true Supergirl, it would have worked better. Also, the movie just was terrible. Like it was just a bad movie. Bad CG. The CGI is terrible. The fight scenes are lame. It was just a poorly done movie. And I think it very well, if he has one more like that, I think that, yeah, James Gunn gone. I mean, I think he's done a horrible job. Like it started pretty great with Superman. Superman was an absolute success. Whether you like the movie or not, it did really well in the box office. And everything after that has been turd after turd. And like their plan for the DC universe is so weak, in my opinion. The things that they're going after are very strange. Clayface is the one I'm really excited about, but I have very tempered expectations because it's in the DC universe and James Gunn is in charge. So, not exactly thrilled about that, but I am thrilled about the idea. And the trailer looked fucking sick for Clayface. So, I think that one you can be really excited about. Lanterns just came out and it's getting nuked by people who are not Rotten Tomatoes and their fake reviews, but like the real reviews of real people said it's awful. And like what they've done to, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to have anything spoiled or spoil it for anyone else. But I heard there's something major that happens and it makes everyone hate the show. And I'm like, well, damn, to do that in the first episode's kind of wild. So I don't know. It's a wait and see type of game for this for sure. But I think if he has one more flop, if Man of Tomorrow does not work for him, he's gone.
Yeah, you know what's sad was I was really looking forward to this movie. This was actually on our radar here after Superman was quite, I mean, it wasn't Spider-Man Brand New Day success, but it was successful for its own right. So I was kind of looking forward to that, and I know Millie Alcock from A House of the Dragon, so it's like, this is probably pretty good. And then, dude, like, it's just so fucking flat. And like you said, it was like they were trying to imitate Hancock from back in 2008 or whenever it was. And then same thing with Lanterns. Lanterns just came out on HBO. I keep seeing it on there, so I was like excited to look at it. And then like Hal Jordan, I've heard they completely fucked up his character.
I'm like, don't spoil anything because I haven't seen it, and I know you're the king of spoilers. You love it. You live for that shit.
You know, Corn's the
I don't.
spoiler
so
king.
that's what I heard the same thing though. So I was like, disappointing.
Yeah. So same thing. I agree. I think if he keeps on this path, I mean, that's the thing. You get new head honchos in there, they're not going to put up with that. I mean, at this point, you can basically put the Snyderverse as more successful, which is
People
really
are saying
sad.
that.
I mean, think about it. That's sad. They did this. You know, you bring a new coach in basically from a football perspective because you're trying to win championships. And dude, you can't even get a. You got what? You're 1-9 at this point. Like, it's not looking good, man.
No. And you know what's funny too is that you've got so many people now defending the Snyderverse and saying it was the greatest thing ever and it was so good and we didn't appreciate it. I'm like, you're damn right you didn't appreciate it because no one really showed up. Everyone was shitting all over it and you got him fired. And now all of a sudden, because you got something to compare it to, because now there's a new guy in town starting up the DC universe again, and you didn't like his version of it by comparison. And now everyone's online just glazing over the Snyderverse and the Snyder Cut and all these movies. And I was like, honestly, his movies weren't good either. I think the Superman, like the first Superman movie was cool. And then it was like the rest of it, once it got to the Justice League, it was just bad CGI and it was super cheesy. And it was terrible. Be honest. Like you can say you liked it. It's cheesy, but it wasn't great. And like by comparison, it makes, I guess you could, if you want to do comparisons and all that shit and say, we should go back to the Snyderverse. Everyone hated the Snyderverse when it was out. No one liked it. The sentiment everywhere was that it's garbage. And we need someone new to come in and really reboot the DC universe and take over. Well, you got your wish. And then unfortunately, it was James Gunn who popped out of that little genie lamp. And you're like, fuck.
Dude,
so, I mean,
fuck?
he had so much potential too with like what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy was incredible. And you're like, okay, if you bring that, not necessarily the same styling, but bring that same storytelling into the DC universe, you could do amazing things. And then he just, I don't want to say it, but certain ideologies and things, and it ruins the characters, it ruins the stories, it ruins the scripts. And they turn out like piss poor movies. And then the styling choices, his creative choices are just bad. So I don't know, dude. Man of Tomorrow better be kick-ass, or I think there's a very good possibility he's gone.
Dude, DC is looking like the Cleveland Browns right now.
Yeah.
Like they're going after big names that is just not panning out at all.
It's just crazy that they can't make it work. Crazy to me.
Last thing I'll say about that is, I mean, this is where you really got to give Marvel credit too, because despite their slippery slope sometimes, it's hard to build a cinematic universe. Like I remember, like when Iron Man came out, like I know they didn't really expect it to be this big. Like it just happened to work out that way. So I mean, it's hard to build that. But as you were saying with the Snyderverse, you know, I'm a huge Henry Cavill fan, but like, when Henry Cavill like jumped in the tub with Lois Lane in Batman vs Superman, that's when I was like, okay, this whole franchise is like toast, dude.
I mean, and you know, it's so crazy because the reason why Marvel works is because they focus on the stories that made these characters popular. They go to the comic books, they do their research, they built this whole thing out, and they're not inputting other shit. But once they started inputting other things into their movies, intentionally and kind of veering away from the source material of what made them so great, their movies started flopping and they're like, oh shit, we need to go back to the source, and so they course correct, and have to give them credit for that. DC, there is so much potential here to make it. The stories in DC are fucking awesome. They are so cool. It's the dark Marvel, and even though DC's initial creation is marred with controversy, but this is like their stories that they have now are so badass, and they could do so much with it if they focus on the fucking source material and they get the right people to do it instead of people who want to steer away from the source material and input their own views of the world and views of everything into these stories instead of like, no, I just want to take the story as it's written and then kind of adapt it to the screen. And that's what makes Marvel really successful. DC just needs to follow suit.
Yeah. So hopefully in the future, man, I'd say maybe he's got one last
so
shot.
Disappointing. I love DC. There's so many great characters there, and they're just fucking it up.
But anyways, and relating to Superman, Nicholas Hoult, how do you think he will do as Gilderoy Lockhart? We got Harry Potter coming up, man, before the end of the year. What's your thoughts?
That's crazy. They're already casting for the second season, which is nuts, for the Chamber of Secrets. So, yeah, dude, I was excited about this one. I think he'll be fantastic because he was in The Great, and he's hilarious in that, playing a kind of doofus. And, like, the guy can do anything. He's such a fantastic actor. So I have no question he's going to crush this role.
I think he will, too. I mean, he's great at everything he does. And this is what's crazy is, like, see, my hopes are so high for this series now, but, like, then, like, some of the casting, like, it makes you wonder, like, you have some, like, ones, like, you're hitting it out of the park, but then ones kind of really throw you off. So, and you hear the writers for this show, Game of Thrones, Entourage, like, you got so many heavy hitters. I'm expecting a lot, but then some things you hear, it's like, what are you doing? So I guess we'll find out.
But this is a good one. We will find out, and I'm praying that it is come December. It's actually worth watching, and that the casting choices don't ruin it. But we will see. There's concern there.
Buckle up, because we'll be covering it here on this show.
But if it's worth it.
On another note, something we already have covered. Do you like Nikki making an appearance at Halloween Horror Nights this year? We'll be seeing her. Big Corn will be getting a picture with Nikki this year. Should they have waited to have a Halloween Horror Nights house, though? Do you feel like this dilutes the franchise? Do you think it's better with the marketing, getting the hype up? Do you think it was too soon? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they should have waited for a house. I think the way that they're doing it is kind of weird. They're having her as a walk-around character, which I think is like, on her own, she's not really scary. It's like, I mean, I guess she is if you understand the context of the movie. You could say that she's scary. Some people will probably disagree and say, yeah, she's terrifying. But I feel like at the same time, she'd be better suited as like being in a singular location as a meet and greet instead of a walk around kind of character, especially if they do what they did with the Megans, just have like a horde of Nickies walk around. I'd be like, oh, come on. Like that definitely dilutes it. I think they should have waited for the house, but I understand why they did it because they're trying to capitalize on the unbelievable success and how widely loved this movie is. So I can't fault them for it. I just wish they would have done it as more like, remember when they had David Pumpkins and he was at like the NBC lounge?
Yeah.
Do something like that. Have Nikki like in a separate area, and then you could make like a backdrop, like a set of the house, and have her be in the set of the house, like a mini version of the set, and have her post it up there. Then you can go talk to her and meet her, and then get your pictures there instead of her walking around the park. I feel like that is just weird and kind of dilutes it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would have been awesome too, because that line would have been like, that line could have been as long as a house at that point, because people love this franchise so much.
That'd be a good thing.
And
get
you
them
get
away
to
from the houses
for sure. And you get to interact with her more. Like, I think
Right.
that's the big thing about Nikki is you would want to like tell her about the wish you made, and she'd like try to like love your wish so much. She'd be like, "Oh, that's an amazing wish."
Yeah, like having the opportunity to spend that time. I think when she's walking around, you won't be able to do that as much.
Yeah, I think to your point, exactly like you're saying, I think that's what they're trying to do is do it like the Megan thing, and I agree. I think dilutes the franchise. I'm just glad to have her there, though. I think that's great. Just as we were saying, like some part of the dream actually came true. You heard it here first. And I'm sure it was a lot of places people were talking about it, but it finally came true. And I think hopefully this sparks interest to where they will do a house in the future, because I would love to see it as an HHN house. My opinion is they probably didn't have enough time to build a house and probably did not expect this movie to do what it did.
Yeah. I don't think they would have done a house this year. I don't that wouldn't have been possible unless they knew it was going to be a success, which obviously, like you said, no one really knew it was going to be that big. So next year makes perfect sense, and I think it's a guarantee we'll see it next year.
On another topic here, speaking of Universal, so let's talk some Pokemon news, man.
Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. Gotta catch them all. For sure. Gotta catch all the Nickies and the HHN houses. Just kidding. Anyways, so Pokemon Go celebrated 10 years. To celebrate, every player that logged on got a free Mewtwo and a Master Ball, and all you had to do was catch 10 Pokemon and power up a Pokemon 10 times. And I wanted to see if this would actually work. So guess what I did? I got my free fucking Mewtwo. I activated...
No way.
Yep, I activated my Pokemon Go after 10 years. It syncs to your iCloud, so it said, welcome back, Chase. Wow. And I got in there, and I did. I caught like 10 random ones walking around my apartment complex, and then I was able to power up 10 times because I had all this like Stardust saved up from the past 10 years, so I just happened to be lucky to do it. And yeah, I got a Mewtwo, and I actually evolved it because they give you like a Mewtwo like stone thing, and you can evolve it to like it was like Mega Mewtwo or something, which was really cool.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, I haven't played that in forever, dude. It's a great idea though. It helps get you up out of the house and being active. I like it.
Yeah, and all these people were complaining. They were like, I worked so hard going to all these raids to get Mewtwo, and now they give him out for free. Well, shut the fuck up, because now you have 2 of them. I don't want to hear you talk about
now you got 2 of them. They're just trying to get people back into the game, which is smart.
Yeah. And so go log on, get your free Mewtwo, man.
Is that it's still going on? I thought it was like
No, it goes on I think until September. So go log on this week, try to do it. And the Pokemon movie 2000 came out this month, 25 years ago in 1999. Absolutely crazy.
Fucking crazy. I saw that movie in theaters, dude, when I was a kid. That's so nuts.
So did I, man. That was the one with like Articuno and Moltres and Lugia. The first one was even so sad. Speaking of Mewtwo, when he was like, you thought Ash was dead, and like Pikachu healed him with his tears.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Jeez, what a throwback.
But what's crazy, speaking of more Pokemon, is Pokemon Season 1 is now exclusively streaming on Disney Plus. Is that not savage or what? Because Pokemon is rumored to be coming to Islands of Adventure in Orlando. So let's talk about these. So what's your favorite Pokemon memories? And do you think this is a play by Disney to get the streaming rights, considering the rumor right now is it's about to be coming to the theme parks at Universal Islands of Adventure?
Man, favorite Pokemon memories. That's a tough one. I would say that's between when I got my first Pokemon Game Boy game. And I got the Game Boy. I got my first Game Boy was like the purple one that was see-through, so you could see all the internals, and I still have it. That one, actually, we also had the original Game Boy, the gray one with the yellow screen. We had that one as well. But like my first personal one, because my brother and I had to share that one, of course. But the first personal one was the purple one with the clear and all the internals. And I think the first one that I bought was Pokemon. I want to say it was Pokemon Yellow was the first one. Was my first introduction to Pokemon. And I just remember the first time playing it, and you're like, you see the little Pokies and like, choose your Pokemon. And you see these little creatures. I'm a little kid, so I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Got obsessed with it. And then, beyond that, definitely just the experience of going to this old store. It's not there anymore. It's called Zany Brainy. It's no longer around in Pennsylvania where I grew up. And that store, geez, it was a child's dream. It was just the most amazing store. And so we go in there and we'd buy all things Pokemon, get our cards from there. I got like my little Pokemon wallet, the Velcro wallet that had like that plastic material that was like squishy on it. I had my Pokemon lunchbox for school, and just going in there and buying all the new Pokemon gear. The smell of the cards, the smell of the wallet, everything. For some reason, like the smell is so connected in my brain with Pokemon. All of that. I would say those are the best memories for sure. And of course, seeing Pokemon 2000 in theater was pretty damn good too.
Amazing, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll say it right now. People don't think about it, but Pokemon is the damn goat, dude. We talk about this stuff with Marvel. They've been around a lot longer. Even Harry Potter was around a lot longer before them. And some of my favorite memories, similar to yours. So when I was growing up, my mom and dad worked all the time because we always have this joke that they worked so much harder so they could give us a life that they never had, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So my brother Blake and I, we always played with these two boys growing up, Chris and Tim, that were like across the street. And Chris was my age, and then Tim was a little bit older. But then since Blake was 5 years younger, they always kind of looked at Blake like the youngest brother, right? Well, Chris had the blue one and Tim had the red one. Well, what happened was, since they always kept us, I always like competed with Chris because he was like my age. So his mom got me the red version and then Blake the blue version for like our birthdays. So I would play it and I always remember it. I was so good at it. And then that fucking Sabrina, man. Sabrina with Kadabra. Like every time I got to Sabrina, remember in the show, she had like that little creepy doll.
Yeah.
And we stayed up one night. This was back when you would build forts and stuff. I think we were like in the 3rd grade or something.
You're not still building forts today?
Dude, I always still build forts today. Might build a fort after this. Anyways.
Next episode might be recorded under a pillow fort.
Yeah. Is a side quest pillow fort. More like
Fuck yeah.
pillow talk with nude artwork.
Pillow fort talk.
Anyways. So we stayed up like all night, Chris and I did, trying to beat Sabrina on our separate, like his blue version and my red version. And then finally I think we beat her. And that was like also a couple years later, I played Kingdom Hearts for the first time. And we did the same thing with that at his house. So a lot of memories there. And then of course I watched the first movie in theaters with my dad. And then we took that Chris guy for his birthday, which they were all close friends, but you know, everyone lives life and I haven't heard from him in like 20 years, something like that. But just memories, man. And that was the show. I remember it would come on UPN 69. That was actually the channel.
Yeah,
and
UPN 69, dude.
69, man. And it came on like right after Buffy the Vampire Slayer when you get home from school at like 2:00. And speaking of Zany Brainy, I think I actually went there some because there was one on Barrett Parkway in Georgia.
Was it really?
Yeah, near where the Barnes and Noble is now.
Oh man,
crazy. Yeah,
that was the greatest place ever as a child. They had everything in there. It was so sad when it closed down. I'm like, that literally felt like my childhood just died in front of my eyes. So
crazy, man. So props to Pokemon, still going strong, man.
Yeah.
Still going strong. So let's get into some Marvel news, man. Let's do it. So a new Doomsday trailer was revealed at D23, and it was introduced by Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. And we both know who they play, Deadpool and Wolverine. So might insinuate something there. The cast of X-Men was revealed at D23. Indy Navarrete, you know, her first real name is Danielle, but Indy Navarrete plays Rogue. Our girl from Obsession landed a Marvel role. Quick, I'll add. Kit Connor plays Cyclops. He's starred in Warfare and Heartstopper on Netflix. Christopher Abbott is playing Professor X. Sadie Sink, that we just saw in Spider-Man Brand New Day, of course, is Jean Grey, same person she played there. Samara Weaving, one of your favorites, Kern. Emma Frost. Maya Boyd is Storm, and big reveal, drum roll, Adam Driver is going to be Mister Sinister. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
That is awesome. Great cast. Samara Weaving. Choice.
Got some big stuff, man. Yeah. And then it doesn't stop there, right? Because VisionQuest full trailer was released. You know, we'll get into this in a minute, but we'll get your thoughts on seeing Ultron, you know, Jarvis, all of them in human form. And that is going to be releasing October 14th, 2026. So coming up this year. I want to get your take on that too in a bit, whether that's something we should probably watch before Doomsday. I don't know if that would be a necessarily requirement, but kind of cool to see. And, you know, we were talking about recently Indy Navarrete, they were thinking was being considered for Black Cat, and now we know she's going to play Rogue. Well, there's a rumor, it's unconfirmed so far, but McKenna Grace or Madeline Klein from Outer Banks or Sydney Sweeney, dear God, I hope not, would be considered to play Black Cat in the next Spider-Man film, which there's a rumor about that title. It could be Spider-Man Darkest Day. I mean, they can always change stuff. That might be the rumor, though. Avengers Pavilion is coming to Hong Kong Disney. The new Spider-Man coaster is coming to Shanghai Disney. And 2 new rides are coming to Avengers Campus in Disneyland. Stark Flight Labs and Avengers Infinity Defense. So let's get into it, man. So let's get your thoughts first on a little bit new reveal. What did you think of the new Doomsday trailer? Did you think it was more or less exciting than the last one? Did you feel it revealed any more plot details? What are your thoughts?
Oh, dude, it was sick. I think it looks incredible based on the new trailer. It makes me 10 times more excited if that was possible beforehand. The first trailer was cool, but it was more of like a teaser. This one felt like a real trailer. And does it give you more of the plot? Not really. It really doesn't reveal much of anything, but there's a lot of interesting things that happen in that trailer. And I think the one that people are specifically focusing on the most is the fact that Doom smashes out of that window and then spins around in midair, changes his costume, and then lands. And people are like, what the fuck? So I agree with that, what the fuck, because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. He's wearing a different costume when he's in the actual building, and then he flies out and he changes midair. Something's off about that. That's either fancy editing, because at first it looked like he jumped out, but then if you look closely, it was actually Mjolnir that hit him and pushed him out of the building. And so you're like, okay, so what's going on here? And then someone freeze framed it in midair, and he's like all glitchy looking, and people are suspecting that he time slipped like Loki and changed into another variant of Doom, because there's so many rumors and so many things swirling about how they think there's more than one Doom, that actually Cillian Murphy could be playing the other version of Doom, which I'm like, that'd be kind of fucking nuts. But I wouldn't go that far, but it is extremely exciting. I think that showing more of showing the Sentinels and showing Doom fucking stop Thor's hammer or his axe and just flick it away and then blow him backwards. You're like, damn, he is full blown monster level in this one. So, and then seeing an absolutely eviscerated New York. Whose New York is that? You could tell it's New York because there's Central Park. You could see the destroyed buildings. Is that Tobey Maguire's universe? I don't know. Is that why we saw Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds introducing the thing and saying, oh, if you need some help, we'd be happy to help. All jokes, like they're not in it. Please. They wouldn't have been there if they were not in it. So I think that could be very real, that we get Tobey and Wolverine and them fighting in Deadpool. Like, that could be fucking crazy. So yeah, I'm 10 times more excited than I was before.
I think it's gonna be sick. One of my favorite parts of the trailer was Reed Richards was like, "Did you do this, Victor?" And then, like you said, where you had Thor like throwing the axe at him, he's like, "You will beg for hell when I grant it." And then he had his hands on the ground. Doom did. And he says, "Hell answers to me."
Yeah.
And then he punched him back. That was
Insane.
sick. It looks fucking awesome. I really hope if you listen to the Spider-Man Brand New Day episode, everyone, my theory about Tobey comes true. I think that would be sick.
I think it seems likely after seeing this too. I think it seems likely. But it also made me wonder, was that the Fantastic Four's universe that got obliterated? Because that would explain why they show up on their ship, because their universe got obliterated. So was that it looked like New York, but I was like, well, maybe that's the Fantastic Four, because then you got Reed. Did you do this? I'm like, so maybe it was him? I don't know. Or I think he'd be saying, did you do this, if he was on another planet, another universe, because obviously he would be able to see that Doom did that to his own planet. So maybe they are on another one. So I think that's possible. I think it's likely, in fact, that we see Tobey again.
Oh, that would be so sick. And I think just the idea, since we just watched Spider-Man, I think a lot of people already have in their mind, like, we won't see any version of the character at all. And imagine, like, how the theater would just go nuts to open to that.
Dude, if it opens with him fighting Wolverine and Deadpool, people will lose their minds.
It'd be insane. My only fear is, because we don't know a lot about Victor Von Doom yet from, of course, details revealed in the actual MCU, not just if you know comic book lore or whatever version they're going for. I'm afraid the movie could be convoluted. That's what I'm afraid of. Like, you have too many plot points going on. It confuses people. I guess we'll find out. But
I think based on what they've been saying, they're trying to make it simplified so that people don't have to worry about all that homework and, like, understanding all the timelines. They said they're trying to tame that. So I'm hoping it starts now. And this is what I said before. Like, literally, they're cleaning up. They bring in Doom to clean up their own mess. Like, who can come in here and recenter the timeline so it's singular, and by destroying everything else, we'll bring in Doom. And it's like the perfect time to bring him in.
For sure.
He's the janitor.
Quick thing before we move on to the next question. I want to get your quick take. There's a rumor about the Latvian witches and who those are. And
I saw.
I don't want to really reveal anything, but my thought is, dude, if that's who's on his team, I don't even know how that's stoppable.
Yeah. I mean, he seems to be practically unstoppable on his own. But then if you add in them to his side, there's no one could do anything. I don't care who you are. You name the Avenger, they're getting their ass kicked, is how it looks. So I don't. But obviously, you can't make him so powerful you can't beat him. But they kind of did that a little bit in the comics. So I don't know. We'll see which version we get.
We'll see, man. So, what do you think of the cast of X-Men?
I mean, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think they absolutely nailed it. I think it's perfection from top to bottom, just based on looks. I mean, and acting. I've seen, several of these people have been in other movies. Like Kit Connor is relatively new, but he was in Warfare and he was excellent in that. That movie's crazy if you haven't seen that one. And I have not seen Heartstoppers, but everyone knows him from that one. And I think that even the girl who plays Storm, I've never heard of her before, but she looks like she's going to be perfect for that role. Maya Boyd. You know how I feel about Samara Weaving. That is just, that's delicious. That's a perfect choice. Then Sadie Sink is excellent. We already saw her as Jean Grey. That's a given. Christopher Abbott, he was in something. He was in that Wolfman movie that was terrible from Universal. He wasn't bad in it. The movie was just bad. And he was in several other things. So he's a good actor. I think he could be really good as X. Indy Navarrete, of course. Love her. She's going to be terrific as Rogue. So I think it's going to be very interesting. And Adam Driver as Mister Sinister, fucking finally, man. Even though he should have been Snape. He should have been Snape in Harry Potter. Everyone knows that. This is still a great way to get him involved in one of these bigger fantasy franchises. So I think it's going to be fantastic.
After the big fantasy franchise turned out like shit,
Yeah.
No offense. If you like those three, go for it.
Yeah.
But I think y'all know what I'm talking about. The minute Palpatine came back, I was checked out, dude. I was done.
I was reading a lot more about that stuff too, and how the original storyline was very different. He was never supposed to turn good. It was going to be like the reverse Vader, where he was good at first and then became evil. Um, and then like, but in this one, he's like, they reversed it, and he's like, he didn't like it either.
That's crazy. So, and I want to get your thoughts as well on Vision Quest. Let's talk about that for a minute. What was your thoughts on seeing Ultron and Jarvis? And that's coming out soon. And do you think this is something that's going to be a requirement for Doomsday? What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, really cool seeing them in human form. The trailer immediately reminded me of WandaVision. And it's basically the same thing in my mind. It's like Vision is now, he's in this new body. And as he says in the trailer, he's not the hero that the other version of him was, because he doesn't remember any of that. It wasn't him. It was technically another version of himself. And so him going into his own mind and like learning about himself is really fucking cool, and it's very much reminiscent of WandaVision. So it makes sense that that would be the third in the Wanda cycle. And so I think because of that, and because we don't know explicitly what happened to Wanda, if she is actually gone or not, I think for that reason, and the fact that it's the only new Marvel show coming out in lead to Doomsday, the next Marvel property, I would say, yeah, probably. It probably is relevant. It's going to have something in there that's going to make it. Whether we like, even if it's just that Vision will be an Avenger now, like again, he's going to be joining as the white version of himself. So even if it has that, that's something. So I would say probably. I would say you should watch it.
Yeah, I would say so too. I'm hoping we get a little bit more Wanda and maybe a little bit more Scarlet Witch.
If we get
maybe
Scarlet, I fear that she will be on Team Doom.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe a little bit Latverian, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then what do you think of the potential Black Cat casting rumors? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So like you were saying, it's interesting because Indy Navarrete was originally rumored for that, and they were like, no, actually, you're huge now. We want you in something now, and let's get you playing a bigger character. So for her to play Rogue, I think that's great. As for like the people that they've been looking at, I think all of them would be excellent choices. I think, well, McKenna Grace is the one who's kind of, she's interesting because I haven't seen her play anything with like a little bit of a sinister nature to it. I mean, she was in Scream and all that stuff, but I don't see her. I haven't seen the edgy side, like the real enough to be Black Cat. But I think she's a really good actress, and I think she would fit the role pretty well. And I think she's someone that easily Spider-Man could get in cahoots with. And then I'm like, they've got to be attractive. I'm sorry, you got to be for that role. You've got to be a certain way and be able to seduce the spider. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if she has the edginess of the character, but I think Madeline Klein, Lord have mercy, and I think Sydney Sweeney could absolutely do it, 1,000%. And I think I know you don't like that. I'm like, I don't understand why. Do you have eyes, brother? But I think that her and Madeline Klein, any one of them, I'd be fine with, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with any of them. I personally like McKenna Grace because I saw what she did in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It didn't have as much of the sinister, but it had a little bit. And she's apparently going to be playing Daphne in the upcoming Scooby Doo.
Right, and but they're not like, they're not like sort of villainous character. She's not playing villains, and like she's more of like an anti-hero. I know that, Black Cat, but it's still, you've got to have that villainous side. And I don't know that she has it because she's like super cutesy. Like she's a very cute girl, and it's different than having that edge of like you can be nasty. I'm not saying she can't. Like no question, she probably can. She's a very good actor, but we haven't seen it, so it's harder for me to picture her in that role compared to the other two. Like Madeline Klein, I've seen it in Outer Banks. You've seen that edgy side. If you ever watched that show is amazing. Can't wait for it. And then, so I think she'd be great in that role. And also Sydney Sweeney, we've seen it. So
Yeah, see, I've never seen Outer Banks. My brother watches it, says it's amazing.
it's so good. You got to watch it. It's addicting as hell.
I gotta check it out. My thing with Sydney Sweeney is she did Madam Web, that Sony movie where she was like a
But is that
side
her
character. It's not, I don't know. But then she did The Housemaiden, and I'm like, dude, like people have already seen you reveal yourself plenty of times. So
Are you saying that gets old?
that is true. I mean, you got a good
such
point.
A fucking pig. Holy
Yeah, I
shit.
mean, now, I mean, you see it all the time in the artwork.
I'm just
so.
saying. I'm just saying. Besides the physical nature of the role that she would fit, I think that her acting ability and her ability to get dark, and she, like fucking look at Euphoria, her ability to get dark in that role, I think she could be really good in it.
You're not gonna bitch. You're not gonna moan. You're gonna work. That's what the girl said to her. So good. Yeah, you raise a really good point. So hey, I'm fine with any of them, but watch it. It might be someone totally
We're not
different.
the casting directors, so who the fuck knows? But I think they'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. Now on to speaking of Star Wars, man. Remember how I said that other franchise? But this is good Star Wars news. So Star Wars Starfighter trailer was shown at D23 and will arrive May 28th, 2027. So
Excited about
next
that
summer. One I'm really excited about. Ahsoka Season 2 trailer was shown and will arrive on Disney Plus even sooner, January 2027. And
Hell yeah. That should be really fun.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm stoked. Hayden Christensen kicking ass again. That's what I'm talking about.
It looks straight up like Clone Wars come to life.
Sick. I can't wait. We'll talk about the trailer in just a minute here. Here's a big one, though. So Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run in Walt Disney World and Disneyland will feature a new collaboration with Fortnite. There will feature a new mission called Smuggler's Gambit. The adventure will feature an option to begin the mission not only on Batuu, but on planet Ord Ryla in Fortnite. And I think about this too. What's interesting, Yuli and I are actually going to Hollywood Studios Sunday because she's a Fortnite fan. And if you ride Smuggler's Run while this is going on, they give you a code and you get a special skin. So it'll like give you a special like costume or something. So
in Fortnite?
In Fortnite. Like they'll give you a code
Gross.
to put into whatever you have.
If you're a Fortnite fan, that's pretty cool.
Pretty crazy. And then this is another big one, speaking of Disney. On September 16th, the Play Disney Parks app will no longer be available for Disney guests. Disney put out a statement saying we are prioritizing new opportunities to enhance our guests' digital experience in meaningful and innovative ways and are excited to carry everything we learned into new parks experiences like Smuggler's Gambit, a first-of-its-kind experience that connects Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run to an all-new Star Wars adventure in Fortnite. Select in-park experiences like Star Wars Batuu Bounty Hunters will continue to be available through Magic Band Plus. Star Wars Datapad will no longer be available. Soarin' Challenge will return to its original experience without app interaction, but with new trivia in the waiting line, and DuckTales World Showcase Adventure will become unavailable due to refurbishment. More information will be available for that specific game at a later date. So a lot of stuff.
Are they deleting the app or are they just rebuilding it, like updating it?
No, it's being deleted. Like if you have an account, it's going away.
The Disney Parks app.
No, the like Disney Parks app itself is fine. This is Disney Play. So what that is remember, kids could download that app, and in the park you would have maybe stuff on the walls you could scan, and it'd give you a secret mission. Or say you're in the spaceship Earthline, like you could play like their version of Galaga on it. It almost like entertained kids, but it's going away. That's just the way it is. Yeah, I was just as surprised as you. This one kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But let's take it from the top. What do you think of the Starfighter trailer? Did you get to see any little sneak peeks of it?
I did not see the Starfighter trailer. I should not have. So if it was on the internet, it shouldn't be there. I know that much. But it was shown at D23, and from people's explanations of it, it sounds like it's going to be pretty fucking cool. So I saw his jacket, which is badass, that it's the upside down logo of the Rebel Alliance, which is really cool. It makes it look like a skull and crossbones, which is crazy that I never even realized that until now, like until they showed that. But it sounds great from what I've heard, and anything Ryan Gosling's in, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to D23 either, so I didn't see it either.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks really good. I'm excited to see things from the Starfighter perspective. That's going to be interesting because usually kind of movies like that, like Rogue One and stuff, are really interesting because they push the boundaries of plot lines and drama. But how do you think Ryan Gosling is going to do carrying this film?
How do you think he's going to do? He's going to do great. He's going to be cool as shit, as always, with his badass jackets that he's always wearing. And I think he's going to crush the role. And from everything that we've heard, it's a masterpiece from people who have seen it that work there. And it's like, okay, well, obviously they're going to say that because they're Star Wars people. But I think it's not hard to believe that this film will be excellent. And Ryan Gosling's going to carry it.
And yeah, I totally agree. I mean, he's great in everything he does. It kind of looks a lot like Project Hail Mary to me. It's giving me some Project Hail Mary vibes, maybe just because the space aspect.
That's literally the only reason. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. And this one I'm really looking forward to. What are your thoughts on Ahsoka Season 2? Are you excited for it? What do you think of Hayden Christensen returning? What do you think of some Thrawn? It's going to be sick.
In returning as Anakin and like showing, I guess it's like flashbacks, and we see young Ahsoka and during the Clone Wars, which is really fucking cool. And so him coming back and seeing that, I mean, anytime he comes back and gets to play Anakin again, play Vader, I'm so down for it. And it looks fantastic. This Ahsoka Season 1 had a lot of issues. It was fun, but it had a lot of problems. This one looks like it has a lot of potential. And seeing Thrawn more, I cannot wait for. Thrawn is like the coolest Star Wars villain ever. True, like in my opinion, he is one of. I can't say he's the coolest because Vader exists, but like outside of Darth Vader, he's tough to beat. He's a super genius, so he makes it really difficult on the Rebel Alliance to beat him. So he's so like calm and collected, and he's just very intimidating. And I read the Thrawn books, which are fantastic. I highly recommend them. And so I'm very excited. I just want more Thrawn. Give me just a Thrawn series and I'd be so happy. Give me his backstory.
The Thrawn books look sick. What is it, like Rise of Thrawn, I think is one of them.
There's 3 of them. The ones that I read, there's several variations of them, but the ones that I read are his backstory, like his literal beginnings into becoming Admiral Thrawn. And
that's sick.
It's good, yes. Must read.
And I liked Ahsoka Season 1. Yeah, I agree. It did have problems. I thought it was cool with the Witchblade, though, thing that they had. That was kind of cool.
The fighting, cheesy. It was slow. Like, her movements were really slow. I was like, come on, son. What are we doing?
But you know what's interesting is Baylan Skull, that guy that was in Season 1, passed away. And the guy replacing him played the Hound in Game of Thrones. So that's going to be sick.
It's an interesting replacement choice.
And I love Hayden Christensen. I thought he was great in Season 1. Like when he cut the bottom of the floor in front of her. He's like, you got much to learn, Snips. Yeah. It was sick. So
Snips, baby.
I'm stoked.
Give me a Clone Wars live action, and then I'll be happy.
That would be awesome. And Hayden Christensen actually had an interview on one of the cons recently. Maybe it was Comic-Con. And they asked him if he would ever like to return with Natalie Portman at some point, whether it be like a flashback scene or some sort of prequel. And he said he'd love to do it. Do you think that'd be kind of cool to have Natalie return? I mean, now we've seen her as Jane Foster coming back. You never know. Maybe she'd be up for it.
I mean, if they did, I would love to get the band back together. That'd be just cool obviously for a throwback's sake. But if they do that, then I would assume they would be doing Clone Wars again. So at least a live action version of the animated series. So yeah, I would love that.
I think
Bring
it'd
it
be
on.
sick. Be sick. I'm stoked for season 2, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this Millennium Falcon Smugglers run and Fortnite collab? Do you think this is positive or negative marketing for Disney? Do you
I
think?
mean, I despise Fortnite, and it just drives me nuts because people, oh, that's that dance from Fortnite. He's that guy from Fortnite. Everything that existed before Fortnite, once Fortnite adopts it, then its existence is only known because it's in Fortnite. And so it irritates the shit out of me. So the fact that they did this is very obnoxious, but I understand why they did it from a business perspective. Fortnite's still crushing it. So anything that's involved with Fortnite, it could do well. I just don't understand the combining it with Smuggler's Run is weird. I don't like that at all. I don't like how Fortnite is now creeping its way into theme parks like it's going to be at Horror Nights this year. I'm so pissed about that. What a waste of a scare zone. So yeah, putting it mildly, I don't like it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I think it's really random. I've
Doesn't
always
make sense.
sucked at Fortnite because I get killed by the storm every time. Um, you know,
Not surprising.
shout
Getting
out
killed by the
to
storm is like, what?
yeah, man, dude, I
It's like, I
always
don't know how to
sucked so
game
bad.
at all. I don't know how to move my character.
Yeah, shout out to our nephew Luke, as I call little codes.
Our
He was
nephew.
teaching me one time. Oh, he knows Uncle Corn. He knows Uncle Corn, but he always made fun of me because I suck so bad at it. I used to
Yeah.
play with him when I came over to your house. So bad. I was so
Did you?
bad. I didn't last any but 5 minutes. But it's annoying me too, though, because I'll say, like, I get it. Fortnite is becoming probably one of the most popular video game kind of
Not becoming.
franchises
It
or
is.
is, right? And yeah, it's just so random. Like in Star Wars and at Horror Nights, like I feel like it's so much for niching it down. I mean, it's just wherever they can get their hands on, I feel like is what Fortnite is kind of doing.
Oh, I mean, they're brilliant. The people who are running Fortnite are genius. They're making disgusting amounts of money. So it makes sense from their perspective, but I just don't. It just doesn't make sense in theme parks, in my opinion,
Yeah.
or involved in. It just doesn't. I mean, it's like they're. It's like the Pirates of the Caribbean thing. It's like the movie inspired the ride inspired, or the ride inspired the movie, and then the movie inspires the ride. It's like that they're inspired by all these properties in Fortnite to bring them into the Fortnite, and then they're like, oh well, now can we reciprocate? Can we get Fortnite in your park and in your movie? Get out of here. No,
Yeah. No,
it's just an annoying game. I don't know.
for sure.
Not a fan.
What do you think of, speaking of games, the Disney Play app going down? Do you think this is a good idea for new opportunities, or do you think this is really bad because it was so soon? I mean, I guess the whole app was more just entertaining kids and stuff, or entertaining people while you're waiting in those long lines all day and finding more stuff to do in the parks. But what do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm not really sure because I never used it, but I do know I do know what it is just based on that. And I think it was good to have something like that for kids to, if they're in a long line, to distract them and stuff like that. I'm not really sure if they have plans to replace it with something, because if they do, then it makes sense. But maybe it's just not getting used often enough, and they're just like, well, there's no point wasting resources on this thing that no one's using, so let's just get rid of it. But
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Disney's always coming up with new ideas, so something could come out. That's what I don't know. I would kind of think, but at the same time too, I agree with you. I think obviously this is probably kind of like, speaking of Star Wars. Remember the Galactic Star Cruiser they had, or the
Failure.
NBA stuff and all that. When stuff doesn't get used, they're quick to shut it down, and that's kind of what happened. I mean, they just cut their losses, is my thoughts, but I
I give
don't
them
know.
credit
I
for
don't
that.
know the full details, but
I
yeah,
give them
I
credit for
guess
that, like for knowing when it's a failure and like saying we gotta stop it, because Fast and Furious Supercharged should never have existed for as long as it has at Universal. They should have admitted that this is the biggest piece of shit they've ever created. Arguably the worst ride ever made. And they should have shut that shit down way sooner. You got to give Disney credit. If they see that something's not working, they'll be like, yeah, we got to axe it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's got to give them props on that. So, but I mean, do what they used to do in the 80s, kids. Look at the ground when you're in line.
Count the cracks in the ground.
Count the cracks.
The people's asses in front of you, sweating.
Oh my God. Anyways, other big news. So one of my favorite franchises ever, Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer was shown at D23. And one of the new worlds is going to be Coco. So I think that's going to be awesome. And I guess Disney's trying to get more and more into the anime side of things because Kingdom Hearts will be getting an anime series and it will be coming exclusively to Disney Plus. So what are your favorite memories with Kingdom Hearts? Which one was your favorite game? And what do you think of it getting its own anime series now? And do you think it could be great? Or do you think this is an attempt by Disney to get more into the anime market?
Ooh, again, with these favorite memories questions, good God. That's so difficult to pick because when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, I got first introduced to it by some good friends of mine in Pennsylvania. And they used to have they'd get all the latest video games and they had all the systems. So I'd go over to their house and we'd just be gaming all night long. And so that really brings back those memories because that was some of the best years of my life. And being there with them playing games all night and especially Kingdom Hearts because as a kid, especially growing up on Disney and you see all these movies, when you get a chance to actually play in those worlds yourself, I mean, it was like as a kid, your head's exploding with the possibilities. And so playing the very first game and getting introduced to it the very first time, I was addicted right away. Beating the shit out of Heartless with the key and all the crazy moves. I'm like, this is exactly what I want. And then you get introduced and you see Hercules and you see like Alice in Wonderland in the first one. And you're like, this is the coolest game ever. So I just think back on that of the time that I had in my childhood growing up in Pennsylvania with some really close friends and kind of thinking back on that stuff. That is what really like warms the soul. It feels like home when I play these games and when I see them. And so as to which one was my favorite, that's so difficult. I really loved Kingdom Hearts 2. I think that one was just like, the first one was great because it's what introduced you and the worlds in that were excellent. I think Alice in Wonderland was one of my absolute favorites, but 2 had like Lion King. It had so many, like the Lion King one that's big for me. But it had a lot of other worlds in it that I was like, okay, they're up in their game. The graphics were better. The fighting was better. I felt like Kingdom Hearts 2 brought it home for me as my personal favorite. I wasn't a huge fan of the most recent one, to be honest, because I played it and I'm like, this is so hard. Not that it's hard to play, but it was hard to control. Like the camera was all weird as shit. It was like compared to the original ones, it was like moving, jerking you all around. And I couldn't control the camera, so I didn't know where I was on the screen. It was just bad. I thought it was really bad. I was shocked. It was like almost unplayable. I'd have to try it again, but I don't know. So I definitely think the second one was probably my favorite. And then, what do I think of it getting an anime series? I think that's fitting. I mean, to me, that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. I'm shocked it took this long to even make this because of how popular Kingdom Hearts is. And I think just based on the animation style and the very nature of it, getting a Disney anime is going to be cool as shit. I think it's crazy that it took them this long, but I think obviously it's because of how much the anime market is booming. And so Disney is absolutely attempting to get involved in the anime market. I'm just shocked it took them so long to do it.
Yeah, man, I can't agree more with everything you just said. I mean, starting off with my favorite memories of Kingdom Hearts, I touched on this a little bit before with Pokemon, that was one of the first games I ever played. I remember when it came out in 2002, Kingdom Hearts 1, and they had the trailer on the Disney Channel, and it was like talking about it in one of those kind of like Mike's Super Short Shows or something
Oh my
like
god,
that.
yeah.
And you had like it was showing like clips of Simba, like when you could on the first one where you could like manifest Simba, like it wasn't his actual world yet, and he would
Yeah.
like attack the Heartless, and then
Hmm.
it would show like clips of going into Hollow Bastion with Beast and Belle and stuff. So the trailer I
Yeah.
really remember, and I remember really playing that game like all night, and we would always get stuck at like the Ursula part. And then
Oh
when I got
yeah.
older,
Yeah. Hard.
and I even remember one time, even before that, like in middle school, I was having to. This was before, you could go online and stuff and figure out where to go places. And I remember the drop to Doom, and speaking of Doom again, in the Tarzan world where you would
Oh
fall
yeah.
down, and
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out like how to get there and get the different journals and stuff. But
Yeah.
finally figured it out. And then recently, in like right before COVID in 2019, I played it again all the way up into the Ansem boss. And then I just got so busy I stopped playing it. But
Oh,
um,
the first two are fantastic, and even the second one has. I kept forgetting Jack Skellington has Nightmare Before Christmas in it. That's
yeah,
another reason why I love it. Yeah.
so good. And to your point too, Kingdom Hearts 2 is amazing as well because you got to fight like I always call them like the keeper of the keys. I forgot what they were called. Like all
Yeah.
those people, like you had Axel with the things and
Yeah.
stuff. But me, I'm gonna stick with Kingdom Hearts 1 as my favorite, just
Very fair.
because sentimental. You got to fight Sephiroth if you could like get the extra things, which I was never that
Hmm.
good. So that's when like you had to load the Game Shark in to
Yeah.
like get that
Oh my
far
god, the
back in the
Game Shark.
day.
Yeah.
And then to your point, Kingdom Hearts 3, I bought it when it came out years ago, right before COVID, actually. I think that was like 2019. And I never opened it because, same thing, like you were saying, people were complaining about controls and
It
stuff.
was awful.
Yeah.
Hopefully they
And
fix that in the new one.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new one, especially, Yuli, that people know on this channel, Yuli and Danielle, our partners, your wife and my girlfriend Yuli, is she in Mexico, the town she's from is like right like an hour away from where the town of Coco is based off of.
That's
So
cool.
that's kind of like really cool. So she's looking forward to that. But as far as it getting an anime, I think it's cool too, just like you said. I mean, I think it's crazy it took this long, but I really do think like Demon Slayer Infinite Castle last year has really boosted this market with as much as it's made.
Yeah.
And a lot of these big companies are getting into anime now. And I think, Kingdom Hearts was always just like, it's like kind of like Spider-Man for Sony, one of their exclusive franchises that they just always had in the palm of their hand that really I don't think has capitalized enough on, that I think now they're finally starting to. So, and now another huge topic, probably the biggest topic on here in our news episode today. Disney and TikTok now are doing a partnership. In August 2026, the Walt Disney Company and TikTok announced a first of its kind global content sharing partnership. The deal allows approved creators to legally use official characters, scenes, and media assets from hundreds of titles across Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and FX without facing copyright strikes. Selected fan made short form videos will also be featured directly on the Disney Plus app. So, a few questions here. Do you think this partnership will prove profitable for Disney? Do you think this will change the Disney Plus format? And do you think it could be a failure like the Sora AI Disney partnership that looks like it's no longer going through? And I guess from what this is saying, it looks like people like you and I that make a lot of content for the company. I don't know, because we never do this, but I guess you would have permission to put like short clips of actual movies and stuff now, and your videos. I'm not sure how that would actually work.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting because it's basically the same thing that they were planning on doing with Sora, and then that deal fell through. So, not sure why. Maybe it fell through because they were like, "Oh, TikTok's interested." I would say that would be the reason why. There's way more money involved in TikTok. So I think the potential for it to be a very profitable partnership for Disney is absolutely there. I just wonder what the limitations are going to be on it. Like, what sort of limiters are they going to put on there? Because there's some freaky people out there that are going to want to see some of those Disney princesses do some dirty things. So I think that they're going to have some serious limiters on there, and I'm just curious to what that will entail. And I'm also curious about the other side of this for the creators, like not the TikTok creators, but the people who created these properties, the Star Wars properties, Marvel, and any FX and Disney. I wonder how they feel about it, because their creations are being just given out to people to use on TikTok. And I don't know if it's going to be free, because there's not a lot of information on this deal yet. So I have a feeling they're going to charge you for it, some extra fee. They're going to find a way to get money out of you to do this. They're not going to give it to you for free. There's no fucking way. They'll give you a trial probably. And you're like, oh, this is so cool. And then you're going to have to pay for premium or something.
Yeah.
TikTok Plus coming soon. So I think that
TikTok
it's a cool. I think it's a cool idea. I mean, honestly just add a plus to it, and then it's a streaming service. So I think it's a good idea. I think it could be very profitable. Will it change Disney Plus's format? Possibly. Maybe someone makes a Star Wars sequel that is like much better than maybe an idea that they were planning, and they're like, huh, that's a good idea. We should take that. And we should use that idea. And I feel like this is a very sneaky way of getting people to create things with their characters and maybe give them free ideas. And I think that as a creator, as a user of this, you should be careful. If you have an idea and for something, and then you go and make something using their property, you don't own that idea anymore. Disney does. So because you're using their property to make this, so if you were to go and try and pitch this, you'd be like, yeah, we saw that. We already took that idea. We're making it. You have no rights. So that's what I'd be curious about that as well. So it's very interesting. Very weird times we're living in.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be interesting. I feel like every new big contract thing like this, you got to work out the kinks. Like, there's always going to be kinks in there. I think, like you said, I think it's a huge extra market for Disney, especially internationally, because TikTok kind of can reach all over the world, where Disney already does. But, like, you think like some rural area in the middle of Moscow or something. Like, I mean, I don't know how much they're getting out there with Disney Plus, but I mean, I think TikTok really has a big reach. I think it will be interesting to see. I think it's great for creators, because I think it gives us a little bit more opportunities to speak more on these copyrighted products and that come out, and kind of dig more into details on it. But like you said, you got to be very careful with stuff like that, because there's probably definitely some clauses in there where you dig too deep on it, they're going to say, we love this, let's promote it, put it on Disney Plus, but you're not going to be putting it on your channel now. Like, you can take the clout. Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting how that's going to wind up. And like you said, there are a lot of people that, going back to kind of the artwork, I mean, who knows what they'll come up with. And then it makes me wonder, like, you don't want to have all this AI stuff happen with as crazy as AI's gotten. You don't want to have all these fake AI trailers and stuff start popping up on Disney Plus.
Right.
Man.
You're not going to know what's real and what's AI. Like, obviously it's going to have a marker to let you know that something's AI, like YouTube does and all the other things.
Yeah.
That'll be there. But nonetheless, it'll be weird. I think there's going to be serious limitations on this. There's no way they're just going to let it be the wild, wild west with their properties. So I'm very curious to see what those limitations are exactly.
For sure. A lot of news here. Upcoming Disney films and TV shows. So this was all announced at D23. The Frozen 3 trailer was shown. I think it looks pretty cool. Live action Lilo and Stitch 2 featuring Angel. Live action Tangled film. They're going crazy with the live actions, man. Incredibles 3.
The girl playing Rapunzel. I want to throw up. It made me
shaking
so mad.
My head. Yeah, shaking my head.
I'm like,
dude.
Ugh.
Incredibles 3 though, that's exciting. Simpsons 2 movie, Zootopia 3. We knew that was coming with how successful Zootopia 2 was.
That teaser
Ice
was
Age,
banging, by the way. The
yeah,
way they did that transition with the
yeah,
claw print, I was like, ooh, the
that was
editors are
cool.
cooking on that one. Yeah.
And Ice Age Boiling Point. Ice Age is coming back. The trailer was shown. That's coming out
That's
sooner
fun.
than later. Coco 2. That was exciting.
Love Coco.
Love Coco. New Pixar film Ghost Market. I don't know a lot about that one.
That one looked fun.
One
It's like
called sorry.
he's like a
Go for
spirit, or like he's like getting haunted by ghosts. This is the main character, so it's like a supernatural Pixar movie, which could be really funny.
All these ghost movies, man, coming out. Like now Pixar's into it. You know, you have anything but ghosts coming out.
There's
Good
always
stuff.
ghost movies. You know?
Oh yeah, Halloween's coming up, man. I'm stoked for that. The movie Gato, which is an animated cat film, it kind of makes me think of. Wasn't there a movie kind of sort of like that, Flow, that came out? Flow.
Oh
It
yeah.
had like that black cat.
But in this one, where is the tuna?
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Where is the tuna?
And you know, I got my own Gato, so I'm looking forward to this one, King Gato. This one's a big one, kind of exciting. Oswald is getting a movie. The Rabbit, Oswald the Rabbit, is getting a movie.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, remember that was where Disney originally had the rights to Oswald, and then they sold it, and then they just got him back not too long ago.
That's
So,
wild. It's a big one.
And then all the families will be excited about this one. Bluey is getting a movie. Hexed, we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Clay, I don't know a lot about Clay. I know Clayface. I don't know a lot about Clay, though.
Either. I think I don't. That's another Disney original. It's animated, probably.
Yeah, animated. So looks interesting. Princess Diaries 3. The trailer was shown. Anne Hathaway is
I'm sure
back.
you're excited about that one.
Oh, I'm a big DWP fan. Devil Wears Prada.
D wears P, baby.
And we got Romy and Michelle 2. That's interesting. Did you ever see Romy and Michelle 1? It has the girl that plays Phoebe in it from Friends.
I don't think so.
It was pretty good. They go back to their old high school and say they invented sticky notes because they want to act like they did something and really didn't. It's good. You should check it out. Really funny.
Coming from all right, Mr. D wears P over there. My guard is up.
Oh yeah. This one I've never seen the first 2 seasons, but apparently they're really good. I remember the original movies that weren't as good, but
The show
Percy.
is good.
It was good.
The first episode I thought was bad, and it made me not want to watch it. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to try it again. And then I kept going through. I'm like, all right, it's pretty fun. I'm in season 2 now, so.
I'll let you reveal it then. What's the big reveal, Kern?
What big reveal? What do you mean?
I had never said the name of it. It's Percy Jackson season 3. So Percy Jackson season 3 was announced.
Okay, I thought you said it.
No, that's what I was like. Oh, you're good. So Percy Jackson season 3 was announced. Another thing, we talked about this a little bit in the past. One of the big 3, Bleach. The final season is already airing now exclusively on Disney Plus and Hulu. That's 1,000-Year Blood War. Final part of the final season, because we know how Disney likes to drag this out. So this is part 4 of the final season. And another crazy one, man. Disney Plus. Remember, I think we might have talked about this a little bit with our Power Rangers talk before, but they were rebooting the Power Rangers and they canceled it. There is now no Power Rangers reboot. And they said it's due to budget constraints, which is I understand that, but that's a little bit surprising to me to say
we
Disney
know where
has
that budget's going.
Oh yeah. So once again, the Power Rangers are like Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat. Man, it's just not looking good. Which ones are you excited for? And I had to put this in there. Are you surprised the Power Rangers reboot was canceled?
I'm excited for a lot of these. Coco 2 is probably my number one. I loved Coco. It was so good. Incredibles 3 is right there with it. Love the Incredibles. I liked the live action Lilo and Stitch as well. I thought it was pretty fun. Obviously, it wasn't super accurate to the cartoon, but it was still a lot of fun. I bet the second one is going to be really interesting with Angel. That should be a lot of fun. After seeing that clip of Rapunzel for Tangled, I am not interested anymore. Zootopia 3 looks sick. I just love the way they did that. That intro was excellent. The Ghost Market Pixar film has me very interested because Pixar getting into supernatural ghost stuff, count me in, dude. That should be really funny. And then I think the Oswald movie is very interesting. That could be cool that they got the rights back. As for Power Rangers, no, I'm not surprised it got canceled, especially if they're saying budget constraints. We know where that budget went. It's all in the fucking Doomsday. It all went to Avengers Doomsday, and they're like, we got nothing. We got no money for anything else. You see all the actors we hired to play in all these roles? We have no more money left, and we're damn sure not going to spend it on Power Rangers that no one's going to watch, unfortunately. So they're just like...
You know, all the original Rangers are sitting at the table at the cons, and they're just like, fuck, man. We cannot catch a break.
Yeah, it's horrible. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for everyone who was involved if they started work on this. That really fucking sucks to have a project you're looking forward to and working on and it gets canceled. It sucks. But they're spending so much money on all the Marvel stuff, and they're spending a lot of money on the parks too. So I could see it. And they're really trying to focus on the properties they think they can make the most money from. And obviously Power Rangers are not the one.
Power Rangers and Disney Play. See you later.
Get the chopping block.
I mean,
sad.
Honestly, if I'm Josh tomorrow, I'm like, yeah, man, cut that ass. We've seen it. We've seen better days. Talk about a real fall from grace, man.
Look, if you have to choose between rebooting the Power Rangers or hiring Ryan Gosling for Star Wars and Samara Weaving and Indy Navarrete, you're gonna go with them and Adam Driver over Power Rangers. I'm sorry. I'll obviously, as an OG Power Rangers fan, it hurts to say, but you got to be honest. One of them's gonna make a shitload of money, and one of them will not.
Yeah. And I think the sad part is like Power Rangers was so huge in the 90s. I think like a lot of 90s kids were looking forward to it because they were even going to try to bring back some of the original Rangers in different ways, even though it was going to be all new people and kind of a new generation. But
we talked about this before. If they would lean into like the cheesy comedy side of it, I think it'd be great. It would do really well with the 90s crowd if you really lean into that. But again, relying just on that, on the 90s kids to show up for it, that's a lot to bet a budget on. And I just think they didn't feel comfortable doing it. And they're like, well, we have other things. Maybe it'll happen one day. I would love to see it. I think it'd be fun to get a reboot, but I don't know. I understand why.
Yeah. I think just one last note on that. It's sad when you're working on something and filming it, and it's one thing if it gets canceled after it premieres. Kind of like the Buffy thing. Dude, they just like, sorry, like it's not even coming out now. Tax write-off, baby. Tax write-off. Crazy. But before we move to the next topic, some I'm excited for. I really want to see Frozen 3. You know, Frozen is tugs at my heartstrings a little bit. Starting with I was on the college program when Frozen came out. Born of ice and rain, or whatever the song is, or whatever.
Frozen
I know
1
the
was
Let
great.
It Go one. Yeah, that's right. But it was great. I love Frozen 1. Frozen 2 was okay, but Frozen 3 looks pretty
It felt
cool.
like just a repeat of the first one, and the music felt like the same. So yeah, we'll see.
Crazy.
They're introducing
we can
a
finish each
supervillain.
other's sandwiches. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
They're
no,
introducing a
I'm looking forward
supervillain
to
in
that.
that one, so that's kind of cool. Just like Incredibles 3, we're getting a big bad supervillain.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that too. Incredibles 3. I can't wait. I loved Incredibles 2. I loved Incredibles 1. Even live action Lilo and Stitch 2. I love the animated live action, the animated Lilo and Stitch
live
2.
action, that's a kind of juicy
That would be
prediction.
interesting. That'd be like
Starburst.
Who's Framed Roger Rabbit. It'd be like a little half animated, half
I
live.
love Roger Rabbit.
That
Don't
was a
get me
good one.
started.
I'm excited for the live action Tangled film. Not really as much after that clip, but what's crazy is I never saw Tangled. I just know that song from Mandy Moore. Last
Dude,
I see
you got
the
to watch Tangled.
light.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I never watched it,
It's great.
but I know it's really popular. Um, Simpsons 2, I can't wait. I love The Simpsons. Zootopia 3, like you said, that's a great one. Ice Age, I can't wait to see Ice Age again. Coco 2, love Coco 1. Ghost Market does look interesting, so I am interested to that. Even Gato, because I have myself a Gato at home.
Gato
Um,
looks fun.
yeah. Oswald the movie. I'm excited to see Oswald in theater. I'll be using A-list for that though. It's
It could be
not
cool.
a full price for me, but I am looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not a Bluey fan. Hex looks cool. I actually think Hex looks really cool. Kind of like more sorcery kind of thing. Princess Diaries 3. I never saw Princess Diaries 2, but looks cool. Even some Romy and Michelle. You know, the DWP in me loves some Romy and Michelle. Never saw Percy Jackson. I'll definitely be checking out Bleach. That looks sick, but I got to start from the
I'm sure you
beginning.
will.
And you know, I'm watching Boruto now, which is after Naruto. So but Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece and Dragon Ball Z, they say that's like the biggest anime. So got to knock those out. Add it to 2050 is probably when I'll be done. And yeah, I think it's sad that of course Power Rangers is getting canceled, but you know, we got better things to come, so I'm not too sad about it. On another note, let's move on to some theme park news. Some big stuff. Villains Land in Magic Kingdom will be getting a thrilling Maleficent coaster and a Magic Mirror dark ride. The story of the land was revealed to be as follows. Your journey in the land begins when you stray from the safe path and enter the bewitching and foreboding dark forest. There you'll come upon a broken, twisted wishing well, where a mysterious person once made an evil wish. A wish so evil that it corrupted the wishing well, broke it open, and infused the forest around it with power of wishing well's poisoned magic, which now calls to our favorite Disney villains. Quote from Disney Tourist Blog. The Maleficent coaster will take riders through the tangled briars of the dark forest near Maleficent's castle. Disney engineers said they will be including coaster elements they have never used before on prior similar attractions. The Magic Mirror Dark Ride will transport you into the Magic Mirror to see the inner workings of the mirror magic realm. Concept art of the ride shows several of the major villains in shattered mirror pieces surrounding what looks like a boat. However, Disney specifically uses the words dark ride to describe the attraction, and they stated it will not be a water ride, as many suspected from the concept art. It may feature a trackless ride system or something similar to Peter Pan's Flight, Shanghai Disneyland, which is like a combination of flying and standard dark ride system that can be a boat-like ride. That's actually really cool. I watched a POV of that on YouTube today, and the art in there is insane.
I think that's a really cool idea. The
I
mirror.
think it is. I think it's going to be cool. Piston Peak will be at Tom Sawyer Island in Magic Kingdom and will include 2 rides, Miss Fritter's Daredevil Spin along and Cars Ridge Run Rally. That is an alliteration for damn sure.
Yeah.
Cars Ridge Run Rally. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. But this will feature an element of driving through snow. I think that's kind of cool. Monstropolis in Hollywood Studios will open in 2027 and will feature a new show. And Harry Housen?
Yeah, Harryhausen.
I think that's how you say his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is getting a restaurant, and it looks identical to the Japanese steakhouse from the movie. The coaster, though, will not open until 2028. The Carousel of Progress will reopen in late 2027 with new voices from Jamie Lee Curtis and Bryan Cranston as narrators. Figment Ride is getting a massive update at Epcot, and Dreamfinder is returning. So Figment the Dragon that we always see, the purple dragon, always a Festival of Arts. Fun fact, Kodak originally designed Figment, and he was green, but then they decided to change him to purple. Purple dragon. Spaceship Earth at Epcot is being refurbished with the new storyline, including updating scenes to match the present day as well as scenes of the perceived future. And Betty the Yeti will finally be getting fixed on Expedition Everest in Animal Kingdom.
Well,
Really cool. Sick. And Indiana Jones ride at Animal Kingdom will be titled The Jade Serpent and appears to have a darker storyline. It features an absolutely massive animatronic serpent, incredibly historically accurate to Mayan architecture and carvings. Antonio's Fiesta de Encanto, the Encanto ride, will be a new Encanto ride and will feature over 50 animals and will be a sit-down ride with no height requirement. It looks like the ride will feature a trackless ride system like Ratatouille, Mickey's Runaway Railway, and Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. The shared images look incredibly vibrant and lively, though, and El Carousel de los Animalitos is a carousel, like my Spanish there. I'm learning from Yuli, see?
Sounds like you were born in Mexico.
Oh, she would beg to differ for sure. It's carousel coming near the new Encanto area, and the animals on the carousel resemble popular Disney animals such as Simba and Hey Hey. Disneyland is reimagining Tomorrowland. Avatar Way of Water an experience is coming to Disneyland. Don't get too excited, Kyle. It's on the other side in California.
I wasn't excited anyway.
I wasn't either. It will just be a singular ride, but it looks insane from images shared just as far as the architecture there. Disneyland, magic happens in Disneyland World of Color parades, and a new fireworks show, Dreams Come True, are coming in 2027 to Disneyland. A new Coco ride is coming to Disneyland in California. A new Lion King ride is coming to Disneyland Paris. Ugh, so jealous of that. However, we get everything, I feel like, so they should get a little something.
That's a
but
big one, though, man.
I know.
Bring it to both.
Would have been perfect in Animal Kingdom, just saying. But it will be a boat ride and will feature the full story of Simba's journey and a detailed in-battle scene with Scar. That's going to be awesome. Hyperspace Mountain in Disneyland Paris is going away and is going to be a new, more relative Space Mountain that's replacing it. And one I'm really excited for, but I will never go see it, unfortunately. A new Dragon Ball Z theme park is being built in Qiddiya City, Saudi Arabia. Qiddiya. Is being built in Qiddiya City, Saudi Arabia, spanning over 500,000 square meters. The massive attraction will feature 7 distinct zones over 30 rides, including 5 state-of-the-art centerpieces and an iconic 70-meter-high Shenron statue housing a large-scale roller coaster. Holy shit. That would be sick. Too bad I'll never get there.
We've already got that like insane record-breaking roller coaster out in Six Flags in Qiddiya. That Falcon something. I can't remember. It's that giant. It has like a disgustingly huge hill off of a fucking mountainside, and it's Qiddiya City, man. They've got all that oil money. They're just building the biggest fucking theme parks ever made.
That is crazy. Building it probably with no safety bars either. I'm kidding.
It'd be like a roller coaster tycoon out there.
Yeah, my God. But let's get into this. So, what new attractions are you excited for? Do you think the Lion King ride would have worked best at Animal Kingdom in Orlando if they built a Lion King ride in Animal Kingdom? Do you think that would improve the park there? Because, of course, Animal Kingdom, kind of fluctuates with some of the popularity compared to the other parks here. And are there any that you think will not be successful with some of these announcements?
I mean, I'm very curious. Like, Villains Land has me really excited now after seeing their plans for it. I was worried they were going to do the typical Disney thing, which is like announce an incredibly cool idea and show this amazing artwork, and then when they build it, they're going to chop 90% of it because that's what they've done in the past. But it doesn't seem that way. It seems like they've learned their lesson, new leadership. So I think that there's a good possibility we get what they're showing us this time. And if that's the case, I'm so fucking in. Them saying they're putting new ride elements that they've never used before, to me, that sounds like they're going to have some upside down inversions on the Maleficent coaster, which could be very interesting. Maybe it's a crazy launched coaster. It looked like in the model and some of the concept art there were inversions on that. I'm like, that you got to on that ride. It's Villain's Land. Go big. Because if you're trying to compete with Epic Universe and you're trying to make this your version of Monsters Land, you got to go big. And the having the second big e-ticket attraction though of the mirror ride sounds fucking crazy too. That sounds really, really cool. Going into the mirror, that's exciting. So I'm very excited for that. I am the Monsters Universe or Monstropolis coaster looks sick too. They said it goes up 40 feet in 4 seconds from the station. That's fucking crazy, the door coaster. So that should be badass. And definitely looking forward to Indiana Jones. But so, like, you asked about the Lion King. I wish they would have put Indiana Jones in Hollywood Studios, where there's already an Indiana Jones show. It would make sense, and it's a movie. To put it there and then do the Lion King in Animal Kingdom, because they have the Lion King show in Animal Kingdom. It would have made too much sense. But obviously they're not bringing the Lion King to Orlando, which really pisses me off because that looks like it's going to be so good. I know it's another boat ride, and like I wish they would do something different. Disney does like the same 4 types of rides for everything. And I'm like, come on, do something unique, which it looks like they're going to be doing with the Avengers campus ride in Disneyland is going to be something new. The big Avengers Infinity Defense. That looks fucking crazy. The set pieces are gigantic. So it would have been wonderful if they did that. If they bring that type of experience to Orlando with the Lion King, I'd be all for it instead of another boat ride. So, but I still think it looks really cool. And the Encanto ride, after seeing the images for that, oh my God, it looks so cool. It looks so colorful, so vibrant. And if there's really 50 animals in there, if they're all animatronic, that'll be badass. So yeah, well done, Disney. They've shocked me because they have not gone Epic Universe. You can thank for this because they've really pushed them.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm really excited for Villain's Land because the concept art, which was really cool, I mean, did you see like the Snow White trees? Those look sick. Like the possessed trees. Yeah, in the dark forest.
Mm-hmm.
So it really kind of brought back memories because in Magic Kingdom they used to have the Snow White ride. I think they even still have it in
They still have it in
Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited for that. I think the architecture alone looks sick, and the mirror ride can almost be kind of like what they do with Harry Potter over in Universal, how you kind of walk through platform 9 3/4. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but
they've got their crazy Disney magic they do with some of those, like the mirror in where is that mirror thing when it like disappears and the princess comes out. Like, see, people still don't understand how they do that.
Yeah, Enchanted Tales with Belle.
Yes,
that's cool.
And so like I feel like it's going to be something like that, just on a big scale with the mirror.
Yeah. Even in I think it's Shanghai Disney and actually it's also Disneyland Paris where they have the Beauty and the Beast rides. There's a scene at the end where the beast turns into a human and it's animatronic.
It's incredible.
So cool.
Like, why don't they do that in Orlando? They save all their fancy tech for other countries. Come on, man.
That's great.
We want to hear too.
Yeah. Well, what's wild, I think, about these other countries that have it, it's interesting because a lot of times they kind of just decide what they want to make and then tell the executives from Disney and they go, okay. Whereas like the ones here in America, since we started it, they're kind of more controlled over like the board and stuff, I think. And it like kind of comes more to like a vote and stuff.
For sure. Everyone still has to get approval. But I just don't know why they do most of the experimental tech over there. And then oftentimes don't even bring it back here.
Maybe because like the audience is so vast over here, whereas the audience isn't quite as big in case something goes wrong. I don't know.
Or they like more thrilling experiences overseas compared to like what people like here is the more classic Disney attractions. I don't know.
Well, that's a good point for Magic Kingdom because, they were going to do the overlay in Haunted Mansion of Nightmare Before Christmas, and they took a vote for that, and they decided not to do it. And actually, if you do the backstage tour for Haunted Mansion, you'll see there's some Jack dolls in there. That's like a homage to that.
So they decided not, because Disneyland does it. Why not?
Yeah.
So they decided not to do that in Orlando at all.
No, because there's too many international guests that come over to see the classic Haunted Mansion, and they just figured it wouldn't be fair. I think it's Tokyo Disney that has Disney Sea with the Atlantis ride. That's really cool.
Disney Sea is crazy. I'm gonna go there someday.
But same thing. I'm super excited for Coco. I can't wait to see those rides. Interesting to see like Spaceship Earth getting a new storyline. I don't know how that's gonna play out. Betty the Yeti is close to my heart because I did the backstage tour on that, and I saw how it literally like has cracked the whole building, which is why they gutted it from moving. So that's exciting to see it working again. My guess is Expedition Everest is probably going to have to go down for some time.
Oh no doubt. They're gonna have to turn because I was lucky enough to see it when it was working.
Oh, that's
from back in the day, and I know you were as well. So it was incredibly cool when I first rode the ride for the very first time, which I was in middle school on a class trip, which was the greatest class trip of all time in middle school.
How did you get a class trip
they
down
took us to Disney,
World?
dude, for like 4 days. We were in Disney.
Crazy.
It was fucking amazing. It was the best field trip of all time. Yeah, I don't know how we got so lucky. We were at the school just opened. It was a new school. We were the first class, and I think that they just went hard in that first year because they didn't do it again after that. Danielle, my wife, she was a year. Yeah, she was a year younger. So like when she got into the same school, they did not have that field trip. So we got real lucky. But it was sick. We got to ride it, and so the first time I got to ride it, I saw it was working, and it was amazing because it would reach down to the track. It felt like it was so much closer than it was, and it was genuinely scary when it's like moving. It was crazy and roaring. Now you just get a strobe. So I'm so grateful they're finally fixing that. It deserves to be alive again. It's been too long.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be awesome. And like you said, Indiana Jones, I'm more excited for this now because I thought the Jade Serpent was a cool title. Yeah. It looks like there's going to be some cool effects in there with that dark storyline.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah. I'm just sad that it had to take over Dinosaur. That's the part that I'm like, because I love Dinosaur. I love the movie. So many people don't even know that it was a movie first. They don't even know the movie, period. Like they never saw it. So I understand why they're changing it. But God, I love Dinosaur. It was so much fun.
Yeah, no, that's pretty sick. Dinosaur will always be a piece of my heart, but I knew a girl one time that worked the dinosaur ride on the college program, and she wound up getting let go because she kept forgetting to push the button to stop the vehicles. Awful, man.
Like, how do you forget your one job you had?
Well, the sad part was the person I know, she like used to work at the gift shop and like I guess forgot she was giving back the wrong amount of money because this was before like cards and stuff, so she got moved from there because they didn't want to get rid of her. But then dude, like how do you forget to like hit the button to start and stop the ride?
Yeah. That's a problem. So people got second and third rides. They just stayed in their seat and got to ride again.
I think she just like didn't really pay attention much at all.
I would say so, just based on these stories.
But Lion King, man, I thought it would have been perfect in Animal Kingdom. I would have absolutely loved it there. But I understand, like, you know, I've seen people of like Disneyland goers saying like, let us have something. And I get it because it does kind of feel like we get everything here in the States between us and Disneyland. But I think it would have been perfect in Animal Kingdom. Like, I mean, there's no more perfect park for that anywhere in the world. And then, of course, I'm excited for the Dragon Ball Z park because I love Dragon Ball Z, but I'll never go there. So I will be watching a YouTube. So it's like I'm there. And, you know, I'm not a roller coaster guy. That kind of scares me. So it's better to watch it on YouTube anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
sure.
What are some closing thoughts you had, Kern?
Just that this was a doozy of an episode. There was a lot of news that came out. D23 is a huge event, obviously, and being that Disney controls many major fantasy franchises, we felt necessary to cover all of this information because there's a lot to get to. And it was a good one. There's a lot of really cool information, a lot of things to be excited about through Marvel, through Star Wars, through the theme parks if you're into that as well. So a lot of great news here. It was awesome, and definitely looking forward to seeing how a lot of these things play out, specifically the AI stuff. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. I'm curious to see how AI plays out in everything because it's concerning at the rate that it's growing. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that as well personally. But yeah, I'm really excited about the theme park stuff. That's fantastic. All of it looks great. It's nice to see that they're really truly reinvesting in the parks again like they used to. So I think there's a lot to look forward to here.
Yeah, same. This one kind of came out of nowhere because this was a lot of information dropped at once that we weren't really planned on. But of course, we want to get it out got to give the people what they want. So got to get it out to them.
Yeah.
But
sure.
thanks. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in for this episode of Talk Fantasy to Me, a Ridiculous Productions podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps us reach more listeners like you. Don't forget to like and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Ridiculous Productions for show updates and more content. Talk to you next time.